T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
Aerospace engineering is a discipline of engineering that is pivotal to life on Earth as we know, and sits at the frontier of human advancements in intra- and interplanetary travel. In turn, aerospace engineering has two streams: aeronautical and astronautical engineering. Aeronautical engineers focus on the development of aircraft for travel around Earth, and astronautical engineers create spacecraft for travel into outer space. While the two branches are distinct, they share a large overlap, and both subdisciplines exemplify the ingenuity and magnificence of engineering like no other form. Aerospace engineering attracts the brightest and most innovative minds, because in aerospace engineering, not even the sky's the limit. Aerospace engineers can choose to specialize in propulsion and work on creating mechanical systems capable of producing up to 7.2 million pounds of thrust. Or they can work in aerodynamics to optimize the shape of aircraft for maximal efficiency. Some aerospace engineers choose to focus on robotics and create machines to aid in space tasks, like the Canadarm on the International Space Station. Alternatively, if you like programming, you can work in avionics and create software to augment functionality in aircraft such as flight systems control, collision detection, avoidance systems, or drone technology. While aerospace engineers are single-handedly responsible for making the world more connected than ever before, their inventions are not only for use above ground. Rather, many technologies initially used in aerospace eventually become useful for civilian application. The telecommunications technology used by cell phones, the global positioning system, GPS, that guides you anywhere you need to go, the non-stick pans you use to make breakfast, the memory foam you sleep on, even the tires on your car that stop you from drifting around corners, unless you want to. Aerospace engineering interacts with other disciplines of engineering to make flying machines, something for thousands of years humans never thought would be possible. One of our own professors at UBCO, Dr. Kevin Golovin, shares how he personally interacts with aerospace.
So our group develops paints and coatings that can be applied to the various surfaces of an airplane wing. The importance of that, we specifically focus on de-icing of airplane wings. So every time there's ice accumulated on a wing, you have to spray de-icing fluid, which is environmentally unsafe, takes a lot of time and energy, and then if you don't do it quick enough, you have to do it all over again. So if you can develop a material that ice doesn't stick to, you would never have to de-ice again, which would save time, money, environmental concern. And so that's why certain companies, aerospace companies, are interested in the materials that we develop.
Aerospace engineering is also single-handedly responsible for the peace and security we enjoy on a daily basis. The aerial defense systems of nations are demonstrations of the marvel of aerospace engineering. For example, the F-35 fighter jet, the most technologically advanced machine ever created by humans. The protection of the modern world is often taken for granted, but we would not have this level of security if it weren't for the developments of aerospace. National defense systems are defined by the technological supremacy of their atmospheric arsenal. However, some aircraft, like the one built by our school's Aero Club, are also used for humanitarian means in times of emergency.
My name's Ian. I've been with the club for 5 years now. I'm the president for this year as well as for next year. And what drew me to aerospace engineering initially was the challenge of trying to find a way to solve mobility, meaning what's the future of it? How are we going to be able to transport people from point A to point B? With more congestion and things like that, there needs to be a solution for with the air. And then that kind of brought us with the club with looking into aerospace and fighting fires. As long as you've been here in Kelowna, you know that in the summer times, you never really get to see that blue sky anymore. And as a club in 2015, the goal there was to try and assist firefighting efforts. And that's why this plane was initially designed, was with a heavy payload capacity to look at mapping emergency routes for firefighters, identifying hotspots of fires, and overall making it safer that there's no more loss of life. At the end of the day, these aircrafts can be flown from inside a classroom. And so that means that the humans don't need to be out on the fires, or with manned aircraft, they have a limited time to fly over fires. With these systems set up, time is unlimited now.
Don't forget, if you become an aerospace engineer, you will also have some very desirable job opportunities. These include working for organizations such as NASA and SpaceX in the astronautical sector, or perhaps Boeing or Lockheed Martin in the aeronautical sector. You have the opportunity to work with airlines such as WestJet and Air Canada, or with Canada's Ministry of Defence. The opportunities are diverse, and you can work all around the world. Best of all, the jobs for aerospace engineers are only growing. The projected growth rate for employment of aerospace engineers is approximately 10% this year. The only thing more appealing than these fascinating jobs are the fat paychecks that come with them. The median starting salary for aerospace engineers is around $100,000 a year. While first year engineers tend to make around $88,000, the number jumps to over $200,000 as your experience and responsibilities grow. The work hours of this occupation will usually be a typical 9-to-5 job in the early years of your career. But as you begin to climb the ranks and start to manage projects, your hours might grow. But don't worry, you'll be well compensated with the extra digits on your paycheck. Aerospace engineers have some of the highest job satisfaction because, as it turns out, there are very few things that can beat the euphoria of watching your hard work and effort blast into space. It has been said, the path to becoming an aerospace engineer is a rigorous one, but those who manage to survive the difficult liftoff emerge with a high degree of career satisfaction. Is there anything better than doing what you love and making bank while you do it? Not only does this type of engineering benefit society, it has a strong history of commitment to environmental sustainability, both in the manufacturing and operation of their designs. Over the past 50 years, there has been a 70% reduction in the amount of fuel burned, and the industry continues to have a commitment to achieve further reduction of emissions and production impact and cost. Other sustainable practices of aerospace include sustainable processes for the acquisition of raw materials, the creation of alternative materials that are less harmful than the waste produced by metals such as titanium and aluminum, and working to extend the lifetime of products as well as reusing instead of rebuilding. A great example is the ambition of Elon Musk and SpaceX. The company is reducing launch costs by designing rockets intended for multiple flights with minimal refurbishments. With fuel for the flights accounting for less than 1% of each flight cost, avoiding the production of a new craft for each flight would significantly reduce costs. A rocket that could perform even 10 trips would easily save $10 to $15 million. Elon Musk has stated that if one can figure out how to effectively reuse rockets just like airplanes, the costs of access to space will be reduced by as much as a factor of 100. A fully reusable vehicle has never been done before. That really is a fundamental breakthrough needed to revolutionize access to space. Making the world a smaller place without harming it. Connecting those around the globe through wireless communication and aviation. Doing what you love while obtaining financial freedom. Why wouldn't you want to pursue aerospace engineering? After all, it's not rocket science. Oh wait, it is.